the last session, we discussed 2 points where Narad points out how to cross Maya. He says, first point, one should give up attachment, yaha sangam tyajati. And the second point, he says, one who serves a great master, yo mahanubhavanu sevate. These are the 2 points we discussed. Both the points are very important. Unless one overcomes attachment, one cannot move towards the higher. So how do we do that? Narad says, start serving a great master. Be in the companion of the noble people. When we are in the companionship of the noble people, we slowly emulate their qualities. That way we shift ourselves from the lower towards the higher. That's a very powerful way to transcend Maya, serving the great masters. Service here, we should understand, is not the physical level of service. Serving here is what the master stands for, what his vision is, and the direction in which he tells, moving in that direction can help us to transcend. These are the 2 points we saw last time. And today we see the third point to cross Maya in Narada Bhakti Sutra. Rishi Narad says, Nirmamo bhavati, he who gives up the feeling of mine. We start owning things too quickly and we think we cannot live without them. This is something which one should be very, very careful. When you and I came into this earth, we came with nothing and we will again go when we leave, when we quit. When we take the final exit, we will go with nothing. With nothing we came and with nothing we'll go. In between, whatever we come across, we start owning them. Do we really own them? Is it actually ours? These are very important questions to think. Why do we own them when it is not ours? When something is provided to us, I should have the capacity, I should have the clarity to know that I am only a caretaker of something and I am not the owner of it. If this clarity is there, whatever is provided, let us say provided by the Lord, we accept them as His and take care of them. And when He wants it, we let it go completely. If this ability is not developed, then certainly a person would start owning everything, and the most difficult part of it is what we own, what we think we own cannot be with us forever. And in ownership there is always the stress. Because it cannot be with us forever, there is too much stress. So Narad Rishi says, when you get something, you must keep it in mind that it is given to you by the Lord and you actually don't own it. So let us say, how do I handle in day-to-day living with this attitude? Let us say it is your own family, your wife, your child, your parents, your business. Look at it as everything which the Lord has provided and you are taking care of it. It is not yours. It is given to you by the Lord. And you look after it as best as you can. With this attitude, what happens? We take care of it with much more devotion and respect and reverence. That way, even the duty which we perform becomes much more better because it is dedicated to the Lord. So whatever you have, don't own it. Just take it as something the Lord has given you, and you have an opportunity to serve that as best as you can. This is a very important point, because the grip of Maya is only in this ownership. There is a beautiful discussion between Lakshman and Lord Ram. Lakshman puts few questions and Tulsidas ji has written about it. This conversation between Lakshman and Ram. Lakshman asks few questions of knowledge, of vairagya, of Maya, etc. When Lord Ram answers to these questions, he tells Lakshman, particularly about Maya, he says, what is Maya? He says, I and mine, this feeling itself is Maya. Maya or more thorutai Maya, this feeling of I and mine, which we have, itself is Maya. When I can understand this well, then I drop the ownership. That I should not own things which is given. Owning is a mental state. Having is a physical state. So when the Lord has provided something, keep it as His. In the mind, let us be convinced that, O Lord, you have given me this family. You have provided me this place. I am looking after it and I am doing my best to reach you through them. This attitude would certainly help us to overcome Maya. So the third point is nirmamo bhavati, one who overcomes this feeling of ownership. So sometimes when you're sitting quietly, ask yourself, do you actually own? Introspect. What is it that you own? You own your children? Are they your children or are they born through you? There's a Persian writer by name Khalil Gibran. He says, your children are not your children, they are born through you, not from you. This is very important. Nobody can create Atma. Atma is already existing. Only the body can be created. And the body is also created with the food which is already available outside. With the assimilated food, human beings are born. So when they are born, we should understand they are not born from people, they are born through people. When someone is born through you, you are only a passage, you are not the owner. So if we can give up this ownership to the family, to things what we have, we would become very, very peaceful, because ownership comes with stress. Because I own it, I feel so stressed out. Something which I don't own, it doesn't stress me at all. So we need to understand, it is all provided to you by the Lord and you don't own it. This is point number 3. So the first point is, ya sangam tyajati, yo mahanubhavanu sevate, nirmamo bhavati. These are the 3 points. The fourth point is very, very important. Rishi Narad says, the fourth point is, Vivikta sthanam sevate. Everyone should learn to spend time in solitude. Solitude is very, very important for a seeker. Because when one is in solitude, one is with oneself. In the beginning, the mind may be interested in hundreds of things, will be running around here, there, etc. But slowly, slowly, the mind will turn within itself. That's why solitude is very, very important. My teacher, Swami Chinmayananda, used to give an example from the life of his guru, Swami Tapovan Maharaj. A devotee came and met Swami Tapovan Maharaj with a young boy and said, this young boy doesn't listen to anything what they say and doesn't follow anything, doesn't have no discipline in life, and also he does not believe in God. He's wasting his life. So Tapovan Maharaj took the boy alone and he said, it's okay if you're not disciplined, it's okay if you're not doing puja and regular other activities. I'll ask you to do only one thing, and that you must do sincerely. So the boy looked at the master and he said, okay, tell me, what is it? Swami Tapovan Maharaj tells him, every morning you get up, walk for 15-20 minutes, go to a place, sit in that place, do nothing, just sit quietly for 20 minutes. Get up and go back and start your work. Whatever you're doing, continue with that. But this particular practice, you don't give up. The boy gave his word to Swami Tapovan Maharaj. So next morning he got up, went out, went to a small park in his neighborhood. He sat down there quietly, quite early in the morning. So as the sun was rising, he was sitting there quietly, and for the first time he started noticing. He started noticing the different shades available in the color green, the grass and the leaves, which are always there, but we don't notice the various shades they have. Even in a single grass, there are different shades of green. So he started noticing different shades of green, different shades of colors around him, birds chirping, butterfly flying here, there, dewdrops on the flowers, a fresh morning, and he was sitting quietly, and he really cherished everything around him. He was very happy, and he went back, and next day again he felt, I should do this, because that day it was so refreshing. So next day again he went there and spent some time, sitting there, enjoying the nature, looking at the grass, looking at the flowers, the birds chirping, the sun rising in the sky, and there different shades of orange coming out. And he was very happy for the second day. And so he motivated him to do it again, and he went on again and again, day after day. He used to go there and sit. After 10, 15 days, it was nothing new for him. It was the same action. It was the same thing. Sat down there, watched the flowers, the birds. It was not so inspiring as how it was at one point of time. So now, when nothing outside was inspiring, his mind turned within. His mind, which was looking outside, looked within, turned within. For the first time, he started facing his own mind. This is something which many people try to avoid. If you have noticed, you would have seen lots of them, lots of people doing this. They watch and let us see a movie or a television serial or some program, and they may not like it at all. And they may say it is so boring. It is such a boring program. They may curse the program, they may curse the actor, they may comment on his performance, they may comment on the direction, but they will not switch off the TV, get up and go. Sit there and keep cursing. Why? Why can't you switch it off? It's such a boring program, switch it off and go. No, I do not know what to do after that. So I become a bigger bore than what I see. So one is scared in meeting the mind because one finds oneself as a very boring person. And there is so much inside, which is the truth, we are scared in meeting. So we avoid meeting ourselves, we avoid meeting our mind, we try to escape. That's why sometimes you see people listening to the same song, watching the same program, or reading the same book, or doing something or other to escape from meeting oneself, which is boredom and also scary. But in solitude, when we sit quietly, at some point of time the mind will turn within. Like this boy who was sitting in the garden, for 15 days he enjoyed everything outside, and now the mind started turning within. When the mind turned within, he noticed that why do I do things which are not pleasant? Why do I do things which are not noble? And when we notice something in us which is not good, only then we will remove it. Till then others keep seeing it. When others see it, we don't pay attention. That's why when parents tell the child, this is not good, this is not correct, this is not nice, the child never listens. Or when elders tell the youngsters, don't bother about, don't do this, don't do that, this is not correct, this is not good, they don't pay attention. Or for that matter, anyone. But when we see for ourselves something in us is not correct, something in us is not good, we change immediately. It has to come to our notice. Others seeing it, I will not change. But the moment I see it, I will make a change. It is like this. Let's say you were working, cleaning the car or something, and a drop of oil, a black stained oil or keel, fell on your face and you were not aware of it. It's there on your face, but you have not seen it and you continue doing what you want. But the moment, let's say it's there for last 1.5 hours or 2 hours on your face, but the moment you came across a mirror and you saw that there was a black stain on your face, a drop of oil has spread over. What do? Immediately you take a tissue and you wipe it off. It was there for 1.5 hours, you did nothing about it, but the moment you saw it, you removed it. The moment it comes to our notice, we will change it, we'll drop it. So there could be certain things which are not good at all in us, but it has to come to our notice to drop them. So when you see yourself with negative qualities like jealousy, envy, greedy, cunning, these are negatives. And if you see them in you, you will say, these are not nice in me, I should get rid of it. Others seeing it will not help. They may tell, we may not listen. But if one sees for oneself, one would drop. So this boy turned within and he saw everything which is not good, which is not pleasant, which is ugly. The moment he noticed it, he said, I should drop this. Let me get out of this. And then the change in him started. Because he noticed things in him is not fine. He wanted to change. He wanted to be a better person. He started putting the effort. So after 6 months, the parents took the child back to Swami Tapovan Maharaj, only to thank him, saying, that day when you said, it's all right if you don't do your daily disciplines, puja, etc., but do this, we didn't understand what you mean. But today we found whatever you said has become so effective that the boy has completely changed. We thank you for transforming him. Now this is what solitude can do. Let us have the courage to meet ourselves. So how do I practice solitude? Let's say every day, 20 minutes, sit quietly in one place. Preferably same place. If you're in the same town, it would be better to be in the same place so that the mind turns within quickly. If you're traveling, you're a person with who has a lot of travel to do, then try and choose the same time. If that is also difficult, doesn't matter, 20 minutes somewhere in a day, sit quietly. Every day, 20 minutes, sit quietly. Do what? Can I do japa at that time? No. Can I do meditation that time? No. Can I read Bhagavad Gita? No. Don't try to do any of these. Do it otherwise. Do your japa daily, but don't bring japa into these 20 minutes. Do your meditation daily, but don't bring meditation into these 20 minutes of solitude. These 20 minutes, just sit quietly. Then do what? No, just sit quietly. Allow the mind to turn itself. Then you will do the introspection. As the introspection comes to you naturally, you will start changing. So every day 20 minutes, weekly once, or at least once in 15 days, once in 2 weeks, take at least 1 hour of solitude. Sit quietly and spend 1 hour by yourself with nothing. Just by yourself, 1 hour. This will help. Monthly once or once in 2 months, take time off, go to a distant temple. If the temple is not crowded, that would help. Or to a place, a retreat center, somewhere, sit quietly for 4 to 5 hours, only by yourself. Maybe that time you can do a little bit of reading, but more time to be spent in introspection. If this happens regularly, you distance yourself from where you are and you see them very clearly. The entire perception changes. We need that distance to see. Otherwise, we are sitting with it very close, so we don't see it. Anything very close, we can't see clearly. A kind of a distance is needed. Solitude provides distance to see things around in the world clearly and also makes us see our own mind. So what needs to be changed outside, we know what to do, and what needs to be changed within, we will change them. The change outside and change within can happen if we spend time in solitude. So this is how it should be. Every day 20 minutes, once in a week or once in 2 weeks, spend 2-3 hours to in solitude. Once in a month or once in 2 months, spend at least 4-5 hours in solitude. And in a year, if possible, Go attend some spiritual camp. Spend time in a camp where day in and day out you go through spiritual exercises. That again helps you to distance yourself, and that can help you to unfold better. So Narad Rishi tells the fourth point, to cross Maya, one should spend time alone. My teacher, Swami Chinmayananda used to say, introspect daily, detect diligently, negate ruthlessly, substitute wisely, grow steadily. I repeat, introspect daily. Daily introspection can make us detect what is wrong, what is not nice, or it can make me even aware what is my strength. I become aware of myself, detect diligently. So when I introspect daily, I start detecting diligently what is there in me, what should be dropped, what should be cultivated. I become aware. Negate ruthlessly. The third point he says is negate ruthlessly. If you have seen something in you which is not good, do not compromise with it anymore. Negate it completely. Remove it off. Negate ruthlessly. And then he says, substitute wisely. Once I negate something, I may face void. And when I face void, I may not know what to do. And this can give room to go back to the old habit. So substitute wisely. Take up to something nobler, a better activity. Commit to something good so that the old is negated and you're substituting with something nice. This is called channelizing. This is called sublimating. Otherwise, one would end up in suppressing. So I understand these things are not nice. I need to drop them and I channelize my energy to something higher, something greater. A nobler goal, a higher goal can inspire us to get rid of the lower. So substitute wisely and that way grow steadily. If we do this, we can live happily. It all starts with introspection. That means spending time with yourself. Introspect daily. Live in solitude. This will make us understand the detachment which is needed in life. This will make us understand to recognize our own follies. It's a powerful teacher. A person can grow so well if one knows to spend time in solitude. That is the point number 4. So we discussed 4 points and now we go into the 5th point, what Narad says to transcend Maya. Narad says, the 5th point is Lokabandham unmulayati. Remove the bondage of the world from its root. Don't give room for it. Don't chop it superficially. Take it out from the root. Remove it from the root. You know, we have this brilliant strategic thinker, Chanakya. Such a rare mind. One of the most brilliant minds the world has ever seen. One of the topmost strategic thinker. And his treatise on management, on economics is a book of inspiration even today. This Chanakya was walking with his disciples. As he was walking, a thorn went into his feet. A thorn, a creeper which came there, and it was there, and by mistake he stamped on it, it went into his feet. He saw it and he removed. Not only he removed the thorn, he went and he took a chisel and cut the very plant out. After cutting the plant out, because he doesn't want the thorn to hurt anyone, he wanted to go, but before going, he called his disciples and he said, bring some sugar, milk, honey. And he poured it on the plant, which was chopped. The root which was there, the stem, over it, he poured a bit of milk, honey, and sugar. Then he said, we'll go. So the disciples asked him, why do you do this? Like, why are you pouring milk and honey on it? He said, this will attract insects. This will attract ants and other insects. They will come and eat the root. Otherwise, this plant will grow again. Again, it will be a hindrance to people. So you need to remove it from the root. And then he tells his disciples, if there is an enemy on your way, if there is an enemy on your path, you need to remove him from the root. This is how the king should be. If he sees a threat from an alien force towards country, etc., one must remove. All the negativities which binds us, we must remove it from the root. This is a very powerful lesson which Chanakya taught us, saying try to take it out from the root. Narad also says that anything which is on your way, troubling you to reach the Lord, we must get rid of it once for all. Do not keep it going. It should be removed from the root. We can't allow it to stay there. This is a very, very important point. We will continue this point in the next session.